Welcome back to Grade 7 Math. This is lesson number 3.5, More Fractions Problems. Today's lesson/video is going to focus on solving word problems involving fractions. The main strategy we are going to use to solve these problems will be drawing diagrams. Before we look at some word problems, let's get warmed up by writing some simple situations in fraction form. Okay, here are three examples, three situations in which we can write a simple fraction to describe the situation. So, for example number one, we have 4 red apples in a bowl of 11 apples. And we can write that simply as 4 out of 11. Here, put the video on pause and try examples 2 and 3 on your own. Then after you've jotted down your answers, hit play and I'll reveal the solutions. All right, let's see how you did. So example 2 tells us 7 tennis balls out of a box of 18 balls. That is 7 out of 18. And for example 3, 9 green marbles out of 20 marbles. Well, of course, that means 9 over 20. Let's move on. Okay, here's a sample word problem with the solution. A tray contains sandwiches that are cut in quarters. There are 9 pieces left. How many sandwiches is this? For the solution, here's what I did. I said, let's draw circles, and we'll cut them into 4 quarters, because the sandwiches were cut in quarters. So the key piece of information for us to highlight is, actually there's 2 pieces of key information. There's quarters, which I've represented in my circles, but the key thing is there are 9 pieces. So what I'm going to do, or what I've already done rather, is I've drawn 3 circles cut into quarters. I said, okay, well, I'm going to color in the first 2 circles because that will give me 4 plus 4 equals 8 pieces. That means I need to color in 1 more piece. So I've got a total of 9 quarters colored in. So look at this diagram, I can say, well, I've got 1 hole, 2 holes, plus 1 quarter, meaning that there are 2 1/4 sandwiches left. Here's another sample problem. For a snack, the teacher cuts muffins in half and oranges in eighths. At the end of the day, there were 5 pieces of muffin and 13 pieces of orange. How many muffins and oranges are left? Okay, again, with word problems, it's so important to not only read the question a couple of times, but to highlight some key words. So let's tackle the muffins first. Okay, muffins are cut in half. And there are 5 pieces of muffin left. That's important stuff to highlight. So when I draw my circles, I'm going to have to cut them in half because muffins were cut in half. And I can color in 1 whole circle, a second whole circle. That will give me 2 holes. But then on the third circle, I'm only coloring 1/2 because I had 5 pieces. So look at the diagram. That gives me 2 1/2 muffins. Now for the oranges, let's just switch to a different pen color here. So I've got oranges in eighths. So that means that when I draw my circles, they have to be cut into 8 pieces. And there's 13 pieces of orange left over. So I can definitely color one whole circle in. That gives me 8 pieces. And then on the second circle, I need to color in another 5 to bring me up to 13. And when I look at this diagram, I can say, oh, I have 1 and 5/8. So putting this all together, there are 2½ muffins and 1 and 5/8 oranges. All right, I'm going to give you this example to try out at home. Let me read it to you before you put the video on pause. Several 6-sliced pizzas are served at lunch. At the end of the day, there are 17 slices left over. How many pizzas is this? Now, before you put the video on pause, there are 2 key pieces of information which you should definitely highlight or jot down on a piece of paper since you're watching this on your computer, and I don't want you drawing lines on your screen. But make sure that you look for 2 key pieces of information that will help you solve this word problem. We will take it up tomorrow, but right now, put the video on pause. All right, I think we have one more example to look at. And yes, you are going to do this one at home. Let me read the problem to you. A baker cuts his pies into 5 slices and his cakes into 8 slices. At the end of the day, there are 12 slices of pie and 10 slices of cake. How many pies and cakes is this? Again, make sure that you highlight the key information. I can see about 4 pieces of key information for you to jot down. Put the video on pause so you can solve this at home, and we'll take it up tomorrow. All right, and this brings us to the end of our video. After we go through those 2 sample problems, I will give you a variety of problems to try in class, and then we'll also work on some together. But until we meet again, this concludes today's video.